Hi gang, it's Shelly, and today I will be doing a spoiler-free book review on City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. So I'm sure you guys already know what this book is about, but in case you hadn't heard, this is the first book in a 6-book urban fantasy series by Cassandra Clare, and this particular book is about a girl named Clary who one night witnesses 3 teenagers commit murder. And later on, she finds out that the person that these teenagers killed is actually a demon, and these teenagers are called shadow hunters. Cassandra Clare is so imaginative with her world. I'm literally obsessed with it. She does a really nice job of taking something that we are all familiar with in everyday life and, you know, in the pop culture that we know, but putting her own little twist on it. First off, let's talk about the characters. I thought that the characters were very richly described and their personalities really showed through their actions and dialogue. So I thought that was really cool because I could read a dialogue and I didn't even really need to know who it was from for me to realize beforehand. So the main character of this story is Clary. She is 15 years old in the first book, and a lot of people had a lot of things to say to me before I even went into this book. They were saying stuff like, oh, you'll probably not like certain characters, or you will probably fall in love with certain characters. Clary fell into the category of people that they thought I wouldn't like. Now, I can see why a lot of people don't like Clary, because some of her actions are really stupid, but at the same time you have to realize she is 15 years old, and if I remember myself as a 15-year-old, I was probably just, if not more, annoying than she was. So she acted very much her age to me, which kind of made me not mind her as much. The next character we have is Jace, and Jace is a pretty interesting character to me because he is arrogant and sarcastic and witty while also having this formalness to his dialogue and to, you know, his personality. I thought that was like a pretty interesting mix. Now I know that there are a lot of teenagers who swoon over him, and I can't necessarily relate to you on that because in my head, he reminds me of a 10-year-old that is stuck in a 17-year-old's body, which I find really interesting. I still really like his character. I'm just not that attracted to him. The third character we meet is Simon, who is Clary's best friend. He is, I guess you could say, your typical comic relief best friend to the main protagonist. He has some of my favorite lines in the book next to Jace's lines, but I do want to say that there were times, maybe during the middle or the end of the books, that I found his character to be annoying because some of the dialogue that was coming from him felt a little forced to me. So I don't think that's a complaint on the character so much as a complaint on the writing itself. Speaking of writing, let's talk about it. This book is written in third person, which I really enjoyed. And granted, it's not the best writing that she's ever done, probably because this is the first book she's ever written, so the writing is a little rusty. There were a few cliched lines. There were times where I thought that she was describing something way too much and I just wanted to skim over the adjectives. Some of the dialogues can get a little repetitive and cliched and a little convenient to the situation. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's not terrible. It's still very much readable, and she is very funny in the dialogue department, so I really enjoyed that. Lastly, let's talk about the plot. The story throughout this book was very well thought out, in my opinion. I thought that the way she created this whole new world while also having a plot in the first book and also setting up for the next few books was very well crafted, in my opinion. A lot of people thought that this book was slow, but I definitely didn't see that at all. There were a few slow moments in the middle and sort of towards the end where I kind of skimmed read a few pages, but I thought that the way this shadow world works was really cool, with vampires and werewolves and pixies and seelies and fairies. I think fairies and seelies are the same thing, and demons and angels and shadow hunters was a really nice twist. So with that said, I gave this book a rating of 3.75 stars on Goodreads, even though you can't do half stars on Goodreads. I'm just gonna put that out there. Anyway, that is all from me today. Please let me know what you thought of the book if you have read it, and if you want to discuss some spoilery bits, hit me up on my Tumblr or Twitter, because I do really want to discuss this right now. I will see you guys later.